Okay, so here we are in the Mindshift app again, and today we're going to have a look at two features within healthy thinking. So we've got a couple of options here that we haven't looked at before. First of all, we've got coping cards, and these are statements that you can use to challenge negative patterns of thought, and they come under the headings that we can see at the bottom of the screen. So for instance, there's some specific stuff about perfectionism. Now these are really useful, but what can be really effective is to actually go ahead, click on the little plus icon at the top of the screen and actually try and write some cards yourself when you're not having a bad day. You might find that there's something about this kind of positive reinforcement which is quite powerful if it's something which is coming directly from you. And if I click on cancel and go back to the previous screen, click on this arrow again at the top, go right back to the top level here, just to show you as well that you can always access this via the smiley face at the bottom. So this is an interface that you can use if you're having difficulty remembering where certain features are, but you need a statement to just guide you towards what kind of quick relief you need. So if I click on Shift Your Thinking, that's going to go into this simplified overview for coping cards where you've got some general statements that you can work through, but at the bottom we can see all coping cards. If I click on that, it will end up back in that coping cards section. So pretty simple, but potentially quite powerful. The next tool we're going to look at is belief experiments, which is a little bit more interactive. And the way that this works is that it asks you to make a prediction about something which is going to happen in the future that you might be concerned about, to see whether what actually happens is as bad as you think it is. So if I click on Add New, we've got a bit of information here. I'm going to click on OK, got it. So the nearest thing to a university experience I think is school. I'll click on that. And we are going to go ahead and pick an experiment. So for instance, the suggestion here is hand in an assignment without rechecking it. Okay, I'm going to tap in here, and again I'm going to use the microphone on my Android phone just to quickly record a statement. Spend a specific amount of time on revision, comma, because otherwise my assignments will suffer. Full stop. Okay, so that might be a particular problem that you're having. Now the idea is that you might not want to really do that because it might be that the exam is so stressful that you really want to spend too much time revising for it. So in this instance, I'm going to make a prediction and I'm going to say, I will fail the exam because I haven't revised enough. Full stop. Okay, well, a bit of a negative prediction there, but we can see how this works. We'll now have the opportunity to set a reminder if we go through to the next window, because we actually choose a date within 7 days to see how things have turned out. So you'll also be reminded on the device 3 days before and on the day of the event. Let's go ahead and choose a date. Let's imagine this is happening next week, so I'm going to set it for the 15th and I'm going to submit that. Okay, so that belief experiment is now in my upcoming section, and if I was to go through working through this prediction, it would end up in the completed section. So obviously we're going to get reminders for this, but if I tap on it, I can actually go in and complete it. I can say I've been in that situation and I've got something to report back to the app. I click on I tried this. Okay, so what was the actual outcome? So for instance, you might say, I did better on the exam than I thought I would do, full stop. And actually, if that is my answer, then I might want to go ahead and say, no, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. And then if there's anything that you can learn from that experience, I revised too much and it actually makes things worse, exclamation mark. Now, I'm not suggesting that anyone shouldn't do the correct amount of revision. It's just an example to use here so that you can see how the system works. If I click on submit, that will be in my completed section. So I can go through and see that my prediction was inaccurate. And some of the predictions you make might actually be true, but at least that's giving you transparent information that you can use to define better strategies for those stressful periods you might be experiencing at university.